ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। ओम सदाशिवसमारंभां शंकराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। हरि ओम। So friends, we were studying Dvaita Viveka. Dvaita Viveka was the topic which we have been studying. So in that, basically the central thought is what? That there are two kinds of creations. One is called Ishvara Srushti. Second is called Dvaita Srushti. Jiva Srushti, sorry. Dvaita Srushti is the topic. Dvaita Viveka. Ishvara Srushti and Jiva Srushti. Where is that we are actually bound? That is the topic. So ultimately it will be shown to us that Ishvara Srushti is not Bandhana Karakam, but Jiva Srushti is Bandhana Karakam. Jiva Srushti alone binds us and not the Ishvara Srushti. This is the topic. Now, in this topic, like Vijayan Muni says, object which is created by Ishvara, such as diamond you take, a gem you take, but Jiva, depending on the utility of the diamond, the enjoyer Jiva experiences it in many ways. Example was given by Vidyaranya Muni. And therefore, Priya, Apriya, Upekshas-cheti iti akaraha manigastrayaha. So what are the three types of reactions comes? One is pravrutti, I like it. Nivrutti, udasinata, I don't like it. Or neutral. These are the three types of reaction which are possible. And in this way, the Vidyaranya gives an example. Here, what is example? A woman example. Woman is a woman differentiated, bharya, snusha, nananda, cha yata, mata iti anekada, pratiyogidhaya, yoshit bhidyate na swarupataha. So the example is given how the mental creation we create on a woman. Somebody sees as mother, somebody sees as wife, somebody sees as daughter, a daughter-in-law, sister. So many relationships are there, but essentially she cannot be differentiated. So this Manomaya Srishti is being slowly brought into the picture. Now the doubt is raised that nanu jnanani vidhyantam akarastu na vidhyate. Now basically here we have seen the doubt that mamsamayi woman is there. She is not, she is same only, she is not differentiated. How can you say that there are two types of, three types of differentiations and the Jiva Srishti is there? Nanu jnanani vidhyantam. So that there will be differences in the knowledge about women, such as wife or mother, etc. Vidhyantam. Akarastu na vidhyate. Akara, the shape of the woman, is not changing. She is same. So, yoshid vapushyati shayaho na drushtaha jiva nirmataha. Beautiful. Yoshid vapushi jiva nirmitaha atishayaha na drushtaha. Therefore, there is nothing actually specific creation, difference is created in the body of the woman. Therefore, here we are talking about 24th verse of 4th chapter of Panchadasha. Somebody messaged it, so it flashed here. So what is the verse number? So 24. We are recapitulating. Last month we have completed up to 28th verse. So we will start today 29th verse. So, but then we are just recapitulating so that because we forget the connection. So, Jiva Srishti example is given. I'm crossing many steps, and then therefore here Vidyarmani says, don't say like that. There are two types of women here. One is Ma evam mamsamayi yoshit kachit anya manomayi. One is mamsamayi yoshit. The one is the physical structure of the woman, where she is the standing there with flesh and blood, physical structure. Kachit anya manomayi yoshit. Manomaya Yoshit is different. Mental creation of the Yoshit is different. Mamsamaya abhedeyapi vidhyatehi manomayi. So Vijayaramana says Mamsamaya is the same. There is no physical change in the physical structure of the woman. But the mental creation, the same object is there, but different people look at her differently. So this Manomaya Srishti is there, no? That is differing from person to person, depending on the relationship. Therefore, here again, this is the doubt is now. The question is, beautiful question is here that, see, why should I have mental creation when there is object available physically? The question is raised. See, Bhranta Swapna Manorajya Smrutishu Astu Manomayam. Manomayam astu. Okay, we will accept it. There is a mental creation. Accepted, sir. In what? See, when do I create mental object, mental projection? Only in the absence of the physicals. So he says, Bhranti in delusion. In delusion, I create mental srishti. Mental creation is created there. Thoughts are created. Mental feelings are created. In Swapna, in the dream also, Manomaya srishti. It's all mind made. In the dream, Swapna, Manorajya, in imaginations, free imagination. Mind just runs here and there. And in that, I create my own images. Manorajyam. Smrutishu, in the memory also. Memory, I remembered somebody, so it's a Manomaya Srishti. Smrutishu. In all these cases, let there be Manomaya Srishti. This mind creates in all these things. It is a mental creation accepted. But Jagrat manena meyasya na manomayam eti iti chet manomayaha manomayata eti iti chet manomayata iti chet. This question is Jagrat. In Jagrat manena, mana means the pramana, measurement. So with reference to the waking experience, Jagrat manena with reference to waking experience, meyasya, the object of knowledge, na manomayata iti. Manomayata yeti chet na eti iti chet. That's the meaning. See, when you are Jagrat avastha mein, when the object is seen, there is no necessity to create a mental image of the object separately. It is available. So, however, what is it with reference to the direct object during experience of the waking world? What is that? How should we accept that, that mental thought to be real? I think you understood. When object is available, there is no need for me to create any thinking about it, a special image. I can directly see it. So question is, where is that mental srishti is coming into picture when the object is available? I think you are understanding. Where is the mental srishti coming into picture when the object is available? For which I'm recapitulating all this. So that's why running fast. So here it says Bhadam. Correct. It is true that object is real in waking state. There's no doubt about it. In the waking state, object is present, and there is what you said is the Manomaya Srishti is takes place, and your understanding is so far it is correct. But question is very beautiful. Mane in the Manovritti. Mana is vritti. Mana is pramana. Pramana is means of knowledge. What is the means of knowledge? Means of knowledge is thought. Mind. Thought is a means of knowledge. So, mane, thought of the mind, manovritti. Manovritti is the pramana. So, in the mane, in the manovritti or thought, manovritti, thought of object. In the question of thought, in the case of thought of object, मेयेन योगात् विषयाकृतिः व्याप्ति. Now see friends. Thought is intrinsically has no shape. Thought first it goes out. Before it go, thought is at the intrinsic level. At the intrinsic level, it has no shape. It is just the manovritti is there. In that consciousness reflects Chidabhasa. So Chidabhasa reflected vritti, thought, which has no specific shape. It is not taken any shape of any object. Examples will come. That vritti goes out. Then yogat, my meyena yogat, when this thought, the thought vritti, which is carrying in its womb the reflected consciousness, I'm going slow now, that goes out. How do we see an object? That's what vritti vyapti, phala vyapti, two things are there. Now this goes out. Goes out towards meyena yogat syat vishaya meyena yogat vishayakriti syat. Meya means what here? Object of knowledge. Suppose I am seeing the pot here. So how do I know the pot? First, the thought, which is no intrinsic shape of its own. It is only an energy, mental energy, thought, which is carrying in its womb the reflected consciousness. Slowly I am going. It goes out from the mind towards the object of knowledge. When it goes towards the pot, that one takes the shape of the pot. So it surrounds. The pot is round, so the thought goes and surrounds, embraces and takes the shape of the thought. Shape of the pot, sorry. Vishayakritihi. Now, this is how, and that when the shape comes into the mind again. So without, here we're stopping here. That's what, because bhashya vartikakarabhyam ayam artaha udiritaha. How do we come in contact with the vastu? Basically what he's telling is, even though in the waking plane the objects are available outside, without that object entering into our mind in the form of a thought, it can never be known. So you cannot say that the Mamsamayi outside the Kanya is there or woman is there. So therefore, why should we have mental image of the woman when the woman is directly available? So he gave an example in Smriti, in memory, in kind of imaginations, etc., in sleep, in dream, etc., not in deep sleep, in dream, etc. The mind creates images. I agree. Manomaya Srishti going on. But why should I accept Manomaya Srishti when object is available? That is the question. The answer is what here? Answer is, even though the object is available outside, without the gateway. Gateway is what? Junction. The junction is what? Without, even in waking plane, without making the image of the vastu or the object of knowledge in the mind, that knowledge of that object will never takes place. So it has to pass through necessarily in the mind. It should form an image. That is the rule. So whether it is your mental creation of you previously saw and it vritti formed because of recalling. Think, vritti formed recalling because of recall, and then you memorize, suppose you recall and the vritti is formed, it takes a shape, then you will illumine that, then ultimately that knowledge just takes place. So therefore, because object is available, mind correctly cannot illumine the object without the medium of mind. That is the meaning. Suppose I'm listening now. My consciousness, suppose you are all listening to this talk. Let us see now. Suppose if your consciousness, without the mind intervention, if you are capable of listening to the talk, then mind can sleep now. Think. Mind can sleep. Or mind can wander. That doesn't happen. Therefore, in Brahma Jnanam also, mind should be alert. Therefore, in Vedanta, we don't speak about Jada Samadhi. When the mind is suspended, knowledge of Brahman cannot take place. Vritti is necessary there. Akanda Brahmakara Vritti is necessary for the knowledge of Brahman. So therefore, what is the thought is now, necessarily every perception, first it has to form an image in the mind. Then second step is Palavyapti is I must illumine that particular object. My consciousness will illuminate. Then only I will get the knowledge of. So therefore consciousness directly cannot illumine the object. If I want to gain knowledge of any Vastu, Bhashyakaraha and Vartikakara, that is Adi Shankaracharya ji and also Sureshwaracharya Vartikakara, both of them declared that this is the case of knowledge gaining. It has to happen through mind only. So when is that object is real? In the waking state. But when it is experienced there, in the mind, it is experienced only in the mind. It's not, though we are seeing the world outside and we think that I am knowing the object outside, object is outside. Actually, the knowledge of the object is taking place inside us. Jnanam chakshuradi dvara bahispandate. Then janamiti. Then I know. Therefore, here example is given. How? Now, two examples are given. So, one example we saw last month. The question is, how is it that mind, example is given, how the mind goes out and takes the shape of an object. Disconnected, I think, for some time. Doesn't matter. Now, Musha asiktam yatha tamram tannibham jayate. Now see, so therefore a copper, molten copper. Molten copper is poured into a mold. And so the copper takes the shape of the mold. Similarly, the mind takes the shape of different forms. Through Sabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, mind is capable of taking the particular shape, like forms, etc. And that mind creates the thought of the object and takes the thought of the object. Therefore, Rupadin Vyapnuvat Chittam Tannibham Drushyate Dhruvam. So is seen, that is Drushyate, is seen to acquire. An example is given, like a copper mold. So now, in this case, so therefore, the molten metal does not have its own intrinsic shape, molten type. And it is, when they pour it into the mold, it takes shape. Similarly, so beautifully it is said that the thought is compared with molten state of the copper, and the mold is compared with to the object outside. So this molten copper takes the shape of the object. So this is how vritti vyapti, vishayakara vritti, the mind goes and becomes vishayakara vritti is generated. Then that vishayakara vritti comes back. So like ghatakara vritti, patakara vritti, pustakakara vritti, all these vrittis take shape. So therefore, friends, what is that we have seen now? See, what is that we are going to prove is that eventually there are two kinds of srishti: manomaya srishti and bhautika physical srishti, which is created by the outer world, Ishvara srishti. So that we experience necessarily through mind. Now the mental creation is jiva srishti. How he responds to it, how he understands and relates to the mental image of the vastu or knowledge of the vastu, how he relates to it, it is the freedom of the jiva. Think. So that freedom is given to us. So if I do not exercise freedom because of spiritual knowledge properly, I will have a wrong relationship with the objects of the world outside, like raga, dvesha, ityadi. Any object. So that becomes problematic. Then I am bound. So far we have seen in the last month up to here. This is necessary to recapitulate because we forget. Suddenly I can't start 29th verse. It will be difficult to understand. Okay, now 29th verse I am chanting. Vyanjako va yatha loko व्यंग्यस्याकारतामियात् सर्वार्थव्यंजकत्वाद्धीः अर्थाकारा प्रदृश्यते. This is second example. Here our thought is compared to light. Thought before going into the world outside towards the object, the thought in us is compared to what? Light. Vyanjakaha. Vyanjaka alokaha. So the light illumining the object. Vyanjaka is object, alokaha is light, Vyanjaka alokaha. So the thought is compared to a light now. A beautiful thing. Now for example, you light a candle in the room. Suppose the room is round. The entire light takes the shape of the room, which is in round shape. Suppose the room is square type. The light also pervades and occupies and shapes itself into a square type. Think. So the light which is pervading the entire room will be in the form of a square type or rectangle type or circular room. But whatever is the shape of the room, when you light the candle, the light expands and takes the shape of the room. This example is given here. A light illuminating Vyanjakova yathava or Vyanjaka alokaha Vyangyasya akaratam yat. Vyangyasya, the object, akaratam, that takes the shape of the object, is taken. Yat is taken. Second example. Similarly, now sarva artha vyanjakatvat dhihi arthakara pradashyate. And Thought is first what? The thought will take the shape of the object. Excellent, excellent. Then what happens? Similarly, here the thought, which is being the illuminator of all the objects of knowledge, it is taken to be the shape of these objects, and by what? Buddhi, dhi akaraha. Very beautiful. So now the object is taken, inside the shape is created, then the buddhi illumines it. The consciousness illumines it. Very wonderful. And therefore, second example also, in the light example also, we saw that the thought doesn't have any shape of its own, but it takes the shape of the object. This is how the Vyanjaka, the illuminator. So, as I told you, if consciousness is directly illumining the object, it cannot do. As I told you, mind is required. If consciousness directly can illumine the object, mind is not required. So therefore, in these two slokas, first of all, the necessity of the mind, the thought is mentioned. Dhi akaraha pradrishyate. Dhi means thought here, buddhi, whatever vritti, akaraha pradrishyate. It is seen. I think these two examples are clear. So light goes and takes the shape of it. Similarly, thought goes and takes the shape of the object. Or pour the water or molten anything, it takes the shape of the vessel. So now, what is the proof now proven? What is the doubt of the Purvapakshi? He says that when the physical object is available, why should be there a necessity of creating a mental object? The answer is what? My dear, mentally creating the object is unavoidable. Unavoidable. Unless the vritti vyapti takes place in the mind, then only then the consciousness sakshi illumines it, the vritti vyapti. Then the phala vyapti, the object is known as this is this, that is called phala vyapti. So these two verses are taken from Upadesha Sahasri. Which one? The two examples. Copper example and light example are taken from this one. Now, another sloka is going, the next sloka is what? Sureshwaracharya's Manasollasa commentary on Dakshinamurti Stotra. He takes up that particular next verse is taken that and explain. What is that now? Maturmanabhinishpattihi nishpannam meyameti tat meyabhisangatam taccha meyabhatvam prapadyate. Maturmanabhinishpattihi nishpannam meyameti tat meyabhisangatam taccha meyabhatvam prapadyate. In these, three words are used in the sloka. One is Mata. Mata means not a mother here. Mata. Second is Manam. And third is Meyam. Matuhu means Mata only. Mata is Matuhu, belonging to Mata. So, Matuhu, from the Pramana. Matu is what here? Actually, three things. Mata means Pramata. Who is the Pramata here? Carefully. Mind along with the reflected consciousness is Pramata. Mind is there. Along with reflected consciousness is called knower, the individual, Pramata. Or what we can say, Antah अंतःकरण सहित चिदाभास. Antakarana Sahita Chidabhasa is called as Pramata. First one. And second is what? Manam. Manam is what? Who is the Manam here? Here, Manam is what? Chidabhasa Sahita Antakarana Vritti is Pramana. Pramanam. What is the difference between first and second? First one I said, Pramata is what? The mind along with reflected consciousness. Antakarana Sahita Chidabhasa. Generally, it is all consciousness reflected in Antakaranam. Now, Vritti is different. Vritti formations are different in Antakarana. So, in each Vritti of Chidabhasa is formed. So, what is the Manam, Pramanam? Vritti is generated. Because the Vastu is there, Vritti generated, Vritti goes towards. That when Vritti is going towards the Vastu, it has no shape. Not a taken, it's a molten condition, thought condition. When it goes towards the object and then takes the shape of it, then it becomes Vishayakara Vritti. That comes back and that is illuminated by Sakshi Chaitanya, then becomes unknown to me. So, here second Pramata is Antakarana Sahita Chidabhasam, the consciousness reflected in the Antakaranam, in the mind, intellect, mind, intellect, equipment, is called Pramata. Second is what? Manam, Chidabhasa Sahita Antakarana Vritti, thought here. It protruded. So it creates, like imagine it's something out of the pole, this one, the thought is created, one thought is created, which is going towards the object. So that is also carrying the reflected consciousness. So it is called therefore Chidabhasa Sahita Antakarana Vritti. Chidabhasa means reflected consciousness, the thought carrying in its womb the reflected consciousness. The thought carrying in its womb the reflected consciousness, which is not yet taken any shape of an object. So that condition, that state is called Pramanam. So Pramata, Pramana. Pramata is knower. Pramana is the means of knowledge, Vritti. And the third one is what? Prameya. Prameya means what? External object of knowledge. So a beautiful thing is what? Example is given by Mahatma is a torchlight. One is torchlight, right? So Pramata is the torchlight, and the beam of light which is coming out is Antakarana Vritti, which goes out. So it is called a Pramana, and the object which is illuminating is called Prameya. Antakarana Vritti is what? Rasa Vritti, Chakshu Vritti, Tvak Vritti, meaning seeing, smelling, tasting, touching, etc. All thoughts. So Pramana Vritti, Pramana means the means of knowledge, the thought, which is carrying the reflected consciousness. Not a take, went and reached the object of knowledge. It is outside. Thought is going. So Pramana Vritti, it comes in contact. So Matuhu Mana Abhi Nishpattihi Nishpannam Meyameti Tat. So it goes out. It goes out and contacts the object, the Prameya. And therefore Pramana Vritti, the thought carrying the womb of consciousness which has no particular shape, when it is released from the mind, it is traveling towards the object. There is no shape at that time. Only when it reaches the object, it takes the shape. So it assumes the shape of the Prameya or the object of knowledge. So that is the essence of this sloka. Meya abhisangatam tacha meya abhatvam prapajyate. So shape of the object it attains Meyabhatvam Prapajyate. It takes the shape of the object. So, what is the now question? The pramata is there from the knower, that is born, thought is born, and comes in contact with the object outside. Then, having come in contact with the object outside, the thought takes the shape of the object. This is the meaning. So, therefore, here very beautifully, these things are explained by Vidyaranya Muni, so that Manomaya Srishti is there. Now, we should understand. In meditation, it becomes easy if you know this. Meditation becomes easy because I know that the consciousness carrying in its womb a particular thought. So, either suppose when I close my eyes, I am not disturbed by external physical objects. Then what kind of thoughts are disturbing me in the meditation? All those thoughts, all those objects which I had experienced, seen, smelt, tasted, touched, heard, etc. in the past. In the past means 1 second before also. In the past, whatever I heard, smelt, tasted, touched, and then heard everything, seen, etc. All these memories, example, in the meditation, you are not slept on meditation set. You are alert. When all these the memories are disturbing me. How they disturb me? By creating the mental images of the objects. Think. Therefore, in meditation, I know whatever thoughts are erupting, what I can conclude from them is either a little degree of raga was there, not 100%, if not 100%, at least 1% of raga, a little likeness. Fascinated by a shape, by a thought, by the taste, by smell, just like passing by. That is enough. That can come back in meditation from memory. And what to talk about hatred of objects or people which I consciously entertained and then consciously hate people deliberately. What to talk about them? So whatever thoughts are generated in the mind, in the meditation, in the mind, know that either we are having raga towards it or dvesha, mainly these two. Even suppose you had a raga, dvesha and then udasinata, neutral towards a vastu, even that vastu may flash in the mind, it won't disturb you. It may just parade and go away. Suppose I had seen some vastu or a flower or fruit or something, which I never tasted, but neither developed a desire to eat nor hated to eat it. Suppose in my meditation that fruit may come. For example, I'm giving you. When it comes in, it doesn't disturb me. It just parades before me and I just watch and it is no more creating any tension in me. But somebody I saw and then I hate that person. And that person is remembered in the mind. Then a hatred bhav will come again during meditation. So, but whatever it is, without the mental creation, without the mental objects created in the mind, without images in the mind, no vyavahara is possible. Now the conclusion of this particular thought is coming to a particular conclusion. What is that? Satyevam vishayau dvaustho gato mrunmaya dhimayo mrunmayo maname yasyat sakshi bhasyastu dhimaya. This is the conclusion of the particular. So what is it? Sati evam sati, this being so. Vishayau dvau, these two kinds of objects are there. Staha, ghatau, two types of pots are there. One is mrunmayaha and dhimayaha. Ghatau, dvau, ghatau, staha, two types of pots are existing. What is the first one? Mrunmayaha, the muddy pot outside. Second is what? Dhimayaha. Dhimaya is what? The image of the pot created by the thought in the mind. Vritti vyapti, and the shaped, then entered into the mind. That is called manomaya, dhimaya or manomaya. The two pots are created. And when do you understand the pot? Only when it is created an image in the mind, then only I will know the pot. If the image is not created, the pot is never known. This principle, remember, very आगे कुछ भी आएगा और कुछ भी निकलता है इसमें से. This principle you must understand. This is what Bhashyakara said, and what Vartikakara also said. Both Adi Shankaracharya ji and Sureshwara ji proved, explained, accepted this theory. Without the information of the image of the object in the mind, that the object can never be known. This particular point, what I said now, it is necessary for Aage, it will have some kind of relevance in this. After we read 2, 3, 4 verses, there some point will come where this knowledge is necessary. So remember this point. Mrunmayo manameyaha. The mud pot, manameyaha, is known by the means of knowledge. Vrittimayaha. Vrittya. Through vritti, we came to know that. Through pramana, we came to know that. Mrunmayaha, manamayaha. So the thought goes and take the shape of the pot. So manamayaha. Mrunmayo manameyaha. This is known as through pramana. Syat sakshi bhasyastu dhimayaha. And after that mental vritti is formed of the pot, and that image of the pot in the mind is illumined by sakshi. Only when it is illumined by sakshi, it is known. If the sakshi is not illuminating, it can never be known. But sakshi is never absent, is always there. Mind goes off in the deep sleep state. So phala-vyapti. So sakshi bhasyastu dhimayaha. It is illumined by the witness. Sakshi bhasyaha, illumined by witness. What will dhimayaha, manomayaha? This object, which is the image which is created in the mind, image of the object which is created in the mind by vritti vyapti, by thought going and taking the shape and bringing it back. That is illumined by the consciousness. It is illumined by sakshi consciousness. Then this is known. Now this is going to be beautiful thought now. So far what we have heard, it is relevant. How it will be relevant, Vijayan will explain. Therefore, the conclusion will come. The conclusions will come. Because Jiva Krutam Dvaitam is Bandhana Karanam. The duality which is created by Jiva is creating, bondage, bandhanam. We already seen Ishakaryam, Jiva Bhogyam. How we are bound? We project Bhoga Buddhi, enjoying, sense of enjoyment. How do we enjoy an object? Either by procuring it or by rejecting it. I want to be happy. Why do we see? Why raga? For happiness. Why dvesha? For happiness only. I don't like this. I don't want you. If you are away from me, I will be happy. So ultimately, happiness I want. But that's all projections. And that's how we are bound. So now he comes to conclusion in this, that there are two objects simultaneously existing. One is external physical object, other is the internal mental object. So this is the mechanism behind each perception. Now the teacher will explain further how this is going to help us in analyzing further Dvaita Vivek. That we will take up tomorrow. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om Sadgurunath Maharaj Ki Jai. Thank you all. Hari Om.